Hello, welcome to another issue of Lifestyle Entrepreneur Magazine. Actually, our Business Breakthrough Google Hangout. It's Glenn Dietzel here, Editor-in-Chief of Lifestyle Entrepreneur Magazine. And today I'm going to be covering with you the major trends. I'm going to point out 5 major trends of today's leading coaching companies, coaching and consulting and training companies. And I'm going to look at this from a different perspective. Over the last several weeks, I've talked to you, and from the standpoint of the CEO of one of the fastest growing high-end coaching and consulting companies globally, and I've showed you and talked to you about the major trends that I see as a coach, trainer, consultant, and we've spent some time over the last several weeks talking about the 7 biggest mistakes that coaches are making in the industry. I've shared with you where I see the biggest trends going. Today, I'm going to put on a different hat, if you will, and I'm going to talk to you from the research that I've accumulated by working with and featuring some of the top mentors in the coaching, consulting, and training industry today. So I want to take a little different approach, and I'm going to talk to you about 5 specific trends or 5 specific principles that tie into trends today around being a coaching leader in the industry. So this comes from the research that I've accumulated as the editor-in-chief of Lifestyle Entrepreneur Magazine. And as you could probably imagine, we have hundreds, if not thousands, of entrepreneurs coming to us today that want their content featured. We started by publishing our magazine bi-monthly. We've gone to monthly, and literally we could be publishing every single day. And you can get that on iTunes. And in fact, let me just see if we can switch over here. And let me just see if I can quickly get the updated so you can get the URL, because I know many of you have been reaching out to us to get access to the magazine. And normally on every one, we do feature the URL to get the magazine. And here it is. I believe this is it right here. And let me just see if I can get that on. Okay. No, I'll give all of you the URL right now, and so you can. Let me just write this out here for you, and you can get the magazine on iTunes. And there's the URL right there, budurl.com/LEMAG. Bud, BUDURL.com/LEMAG. Okay. So anyways, I want to move forward in our discussing what's really going on. And this is the inside scoop on the coaching, training, and consulting industry. I'm not going to talk to you today around very specific systems, if you will, for today's leaders in coaching and consulting and training from my perspective of working in over 120 industries and amassing over 11,000 hours working with clients in the industry. I've got my editorial hat on today and talk to you about what I see from the leaders that we are featuring and who are having accelerated conversations with my company and with me as the editor-in-chief of Lifestyle Entrepreneur Magazine. So as we get started here today, if you're new to our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts, we always start with a picture. This is the Canadian Lake Home, and we have very high-end intensives. That we have one coming up on October the 20th. And if you would like to find out more about that, we do always leave one ticket for those of you that are following us in our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts. And you can go to this URL, newgurumodel.com/one-day, newgurumodel.com/one-day. Follow the directions on that page, and you can find out how you can be included with some of the leading coaches, consultants, and trainers that are coming in on the October 20th one-day business acceleration intensive. So you'll want to definitely check out there. So I want to talk to you today about what today's coaching, consulting, and training leaders today are doing. And there are 5 key areas that I see today's leading coaches, consultants, and trainers really focusing on. And I want to present that to you. Now, some of these principles that I'm going to show you, I've highlighted through clients that we work with, for mentors of our magazine and business leaders and even startups. Almost 50% of our clientele today are in startup mode or reinvention mode, and they hire out my company. So I won't be talking about, again, business acceleration and what today's leading coaching and consulting companies are doing from the standpoint of running a company, but from what I see today's leaders doing, all right? And then at the end, I'll talk to you a little bit around how you could potentially get involved with Lifestyle Entrepreneur Magazine as a contributing mentor to the magazine and get yourself featured in the magazine. So here's the first trend today, and that I want to share with you, or the first focus, if you will, on what today's leading coaches, consultants, and trainers are focusing on in their industry. And the first focus in terms of leading their industry is they have a cutting edge system that they bring to the market. So as I share with you these 5 components of what I see the top mentors of Lifestyle Entrepreneur Magazine who are being featured by us, what I see them excelling at, I want to bring these 5 components of today's fastest growing coaching, consulting, and training companies, what they're doing, and assist you to do the very same thing. So we talk about a cutting edge system. What do we mean by that? Well, you probably want to take notes like you normally do. And first thing is you want to position yourself at the front of a major trend. Position yourself at the front of a major trend. That is crucial. That whether or not you're starting from scratch, like many of you are, and you're just moving into entrepreneurship, or you are already in business, you absolutely must position yourself at the front of a major trend in your marketplace. Secondly, you want to frame an innovative and bright future. Okay? And I'm going to come back here just for a second. It is crucial today in today's overcrowded marketplace. I see so many coaches, consultants, trainers. I talk to so many mentors of our magazine, and they see this too, that today there is a greater level of cynicism than I have ever seen in the marketplace today around what is potentially possible for companies and what they could possibly do with their business or with hiring out mentors. And so you've got to position yourself to paint a bright and innovative future, because there's so many people today. It's amazing with so much information. I've never seen people more jaded, more cynical, and just really confused about the kind of critical steps that they need to be taking in business. And I know by me not having focused for my own business, lack of focus, lack of execution has literally cost me about $2.5 million on growth within our own company. So I understand that. So you want to paint a bright and innovative future for potential candidates in your business. You want to make sure that you leverage a new pricing model that resonates with the advisory age. And pricing equals value plus strategic positioning plus ROI. Okay, so you want to have all 3 components and leverage that in your pricing model: value and leveraging strategic positioning and leverage ROI. You absolutely must have, with your cutting edge system, you must have a better way to digest content. than what your competitors are doing. And today's leaders in coaching, consulting, and training have a better way to digest content or teach their potential candidates to digest content. And this is crucial: co-branding instead of selling. Yes, we have a lot of clients that are leveraging our own co-branding programs and services, but I want to share with you the major trend that I see. But as the editor-in-chief of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, that licensing is not the model for service-based companies. So if you've got a coaching company or consulting company or training, you don't want a license. And the reason is that you will probably invariably move into or overlap your company in the franchising industry. And I know the FTC in the US and other governing bodies across the world will shut you down if they see that, if you're marketing a licensing program because you want to tap into royalties, right? That's one of the reasons why companies are strategically thinking about this. But the problem with licensing, and we've covered this on other trainings with you, is the fact that you'll probably invariably be cross-pollinating your business model into the franchising model, and could very well get yourself shut down. And secondly, franchising is not the model. And one of the things that I have seen in the statistics that I've accumulated as the editor-in-chief of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, that any company today that is growing around royalties is not doing it around licensing. And if they are doing it around, or franchising, I should say, and if they are doing it around franchising, they're getting wealthy and their clients aren't. That's why co-branding is so powerful. And we've covered other training events. So the first major trend that I see, and first activity that today's leading coaches and consultants focus on, is being in front of major trends that are going on in their industry. All right. The second trend that I see is that today's leaders in coaching, consulting, and training leverage accelerated learning and retention. They leverage accelerated learning and retention. Now, one of the items that I pride myself as the editor-in-chief of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, and in fact, Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine is the major sponsor of our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts. And it's the reason why we publish these live for you at no cost with content that you can't get anywhere online today, is because it's a way of giving back to the entrepreneurial community. And when it comes to consuming content, remember, we talked about that as the very first trend that today's leading coaches, consultants, and trainers really leverage in their business. And I talked about consuming content quickly. And if you want your potential candidates of your programs to move forward with you in your consultative process, you've got to have a way of getting them to consume content. So consumption of content is crucial today in terms of leveraging active learning and not passive learning. And I've spent whole swaths of time, if you will, it's very specific Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts, talking to you about accelerated teaching and learning from a coaching, training, consulting perspective, from which I one of our core competencies as a company. But as the editor-in-chief today, I want to show you 5 areas that you want to think about when it comes to learning and retention. And this is all around accelerated learning and retention. And what we're talking about now is impact. So the 5 steps of accelerated learning and retention: impact, repetition, utilization, internalization, and reinforcement. So you've got to be able to create impact on the front end. That's why you've got to be at the front of a major trend. You've got to have the ability to know what to repeat so that your potential candidates of your programs get what it is that you are educating them on, and they see the utility or the utilization. You're helping them with utilization of your content so they can internalize it and then reinforce what it is that you want them to do, and helping them with execution. So those 5 areas, or those 5 steps in terms of accelerated learning and retention, really are systems that you need to create as a coaching, consulting, training leader in today's marketplace. And that's what leaders are doing today, is they're really focusing at a very high level on learning and retention. Our business model around Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, every one of our mentors in the magazine produces a very specific advice-based piece that is focused on business acceleration. So some very specific actionable steps to help the readers and subscribers of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine get the kind of breakthroughs that they want, and going through in a step-by-step fashion how to begin to see a problem, that is focus, and execute on that problem. So accelerated learning and retention comes really down to those 5 areas that I just covered. Comes down to the 2 core competencies that you want to, if you want to be a leader, just like the mentors of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, if you want to be a leader in your industry, you've got to focus on assisting them with focus and with execution. All right, because at the end of the day, your potential candidates of your systems want ROI, right? They want return on investment. And in another training that we've covered, we spent quite a bit of time on different business breakthrough Google Hangouts over re-looking at or reinforcing the whole concept of ROIT, return on invested time. So let's move forward here, and I'm going to move forward here on our next component here. When it comes to retention and accelerated learning, you want to know this, and you probably want to write these statistics down just so that you don't fall victim of doing what most coaches, consultants, and trainers do, thinking that they're moving forward with their business, and at the end of the day, they're really just on passive learning. If you take a look here, 10% of what you read, so you only retain 10% of what you learn, or what you read, sorry. You only retain 20% of what you hear, 22% of what you hear. You only retain 37% of what you see. You only retain 56% of what you see, hear, and up to 86% of what you see, hear, and do. Okay, so you want to focus, and that's what today's leaders in coaching, consulting, and training are doing, are assisting their own potential candidates to see, hear, and do. See, hear, and do. All right. And when we're talking about seeing, hearing, and doing, we're talking about making learning very kinesthetic. So you're hitting the different modalities on how people learn. And we've covered this, I've covered this on a number of different training events around how to frame your content around 3 primary modalities of visual, learners that are auditory, and learners that are kinesthetic. And that's what the statistics are pointing out, that yourself, if you want to be a leader in the coaching, consulting, and training industry, you want to make sure that you are focusing on the doing side of business. And that's focusing on the core competencies that you are maybe right now, and very highly potentially, and I cover this on the 7 critical mistakes that coaches, consultants, and trainers are making today on a previous Google Hangout. And I reinforced this on a training that I did with Winston Churchill, one of my clients. And we've reinforced this over and over the last couple of years on our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts, with very real case studies of clients that if I put my own consulting cap on right now, clients that we have, and how we specifically assist them with execution. And you've been given an opportunity to model what they're doing to grow their companies, either in startup mode or scaling their business if they're already in business, through understanding accelerated teaching and learning. So you want to take that statistic, around 86% of potential candidates that you are vetting for your systems, if you can get them to leverage the three modalities, that is the visual, the auditory, and the kinesthetic, okay, the moving aspect of consuming your content, you're going to have a much greater success of closing deals. And most importantly, for yourself, for your own business, by focusing on all three of those modalities, you're going to create some serious momentum. And this is today in a marketplace that companies I'm seeing more and more have got to know how to reinvent themselves quickly, or they're going to be left behind if you're not positioning yourself at the forefront of the major trends in the industry. So I liken this today that if you don't understand accelerated teaching and learning and understanding the major trends that are going on, it's kind of like building or redoing a kitchen in a condemned home. And I see so many people today, they're spending all the time and all their effort, time and money on trying to perfect systems inside of a condemned business model. So I want to reinvigorate your thinking and your level of execution as the editor-in-chief of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, and re-engineering your thinking and your education or your execution around these critical areas. All right, so moving on then, the last component around accelerated learning, and I want to just a side note here. The reason why I'm spending so much time on accelerated teaching and learning, it is because today is all about teaching and training, and the coaching consulting industry is growing so quickly. But the problem is there's only a few companies that are really making it. And in every single industry, Zipf's law is working against 99% of coaching, consulting, and training companies. And Zipf's law says that in an overcrowded marketplace, your marketplace will lean on the company that they perceive to be on top. So this is all around. That's why I said, at the beginning here, one of the major trends that I see and one of the major actionable steps that today's leaders in coaching, consulting, and training are focusing on is positioning their company at the forefront of the major trends in their market. Now, we haven't talked about what those major trends are, right? But on previous trainings, we've talked about the three specific ways of chunking your content around the major economic trends, the major technological trends, and the major social or sociological trends. And we call that SET data: sociological, economic, and technological trends. And certainly that's why we've been a huge proponent of co-branding, because it's so cutting edge. And if you really want to tap into massive royalties for your company, you want to start using a more leveraged business model that allows you to command maximum fees and royalties for high-end programs and services. And that's what I'm seeing today's leaders in coaching consulting doing. So what they're focusing on is positioning very high-end training programs that focus on leveraged training. And so what do we mean by that? So let's go back to the screen here that I was just sharing. And accelerated learning then comes down to really understanding the difference between free versus premium pricing. And understanding that there's only 3 learning domains that you need to master when it comes to accelerated teaching and learning. The A frame, which is framing the problem. Okay, so before you give your advice strategically, you want to frame the problem. Then the K domain, and this is in our just ask formula: attitudes, skills, and knowledge. The K domain is what are you going to give away very strategically? How are you going to give away your advice strategically? You're going to develop a system, and today's leaders have got a well-developed system, both macro and micro and macro business acceleration systems. We're going to have more to say about that here just in a few minutes. And then, leading into your service. And this is a service-based economy. So you've got to have a service, okay, either done with you or done for you. And my clients love, for example, our programs because there's a lot of done with you services where we just give our clients hundreds of our systems to leverage and model in their own marketplaces. So A is framing the problem, how you want your target market to see the problem, the attitudinal. A stands for attitudinal. domain. K stands for the knowledge domain. How are you going to give away advice strategically? And the S is the application of K. And just a special note here, the size of the letter ask indicates the importance of the learning domain. So you always want to start with A, then K, and then S. Okay, are you getting this? Today's companies, leaders in coaching and training and consulting not only understand acutely the importance of acceleration and focus and bringing those into accelerated business systems, but they also have a more acute way or poignant way of focusing themselves and teaching their clients to focus in accelerated ways. Okay, moving on. Let me just go back here. And the next component then, our fourth component of today's leaders in the training, coaching, and consulting industry is that they have macro and micro business acceleration systems. Now, I'm not going to go through what every mentor that's in our magazine, all of their macro and micro business acceleration systems. I have been on previous Google Hangouts sharing with you quite extensively what kind of macro business, macro and micro business acceleration systems that you have to have. All right. And you've got to have systems and processes and ways, templates and blueprints to help your clients not only execute in every day, but also you've got to have them execute within a better system. And we are a huge proponent as a company and as the editor-in-chief of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine of helping our readers and helping you execute with not only the right kind of micro business acceleration systems on a daily basis that's focused on the 5 core areas of business, value creation, value delivery, marketing, sales, and having high profit margins, but focusing on a critical set of core competencies that you're focusing on every single day inside of the right kind of macro business acceleration systems, the right kind of model. So back to my point and my analogy of you wouldn't ever think of putting a $50,000 new kitchen, right, or an updated kitchen for 50 grand or more inside of a condemned home. So you want to make sure, just like today's leaders in coaching, consulting, and training, they've got micro and they've got macro, and they know how to execute in the moment. And they understand this concept, strategy on the fly. So they're building the kind of systems that are going to bring them the predictable, certain, and secure income for their company. And I want to see you do that. And that's why we've got Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, and that's why I'm sharing this with you here today. Okay, and then moving on, the last thing I see today's leaders in coaching and consulting is they understand how to leverage the flippin' profile. Okay, now I'm not trying to swear at you by saying the flippin' profile, but it is an actual profile, and it's a profile created for coaches. And I'll speak to coaches here for a second, and I also mean consultants and I mean trainers. The problem, one of the big problems that I see that coaches have today, and I've spelled out 7 critical mistakes on a previous Google Hangout that coaches, consultants, and trainers are making. But one of them is that they bring intangible results to a marketplace. In other words, they don't bring a physical widget to the market. Okay, so I have my Starbucks, not Tim Hortons. Our international office is located in Canada. And Tim Hortons is a big brand in Canada here. But I've got my Starbucks coffee here. And one of the things, coaches aren't selling one of these, right? This is a very tangible service that Starbucks brings to the market, right? They have their baristas. You go walk in, you smell the aroma of coffee, you're served your own customized beverage, and that comes in a cup. And it's a very tangible product, right? And they offer a tangible service. You can see it, you can smell it, your olfactory senses are involved. You can smell the service and the product. And when you're in coaching, consulting, or training, it's very difficult to incorporate the senses. So you've got to have, and that's why I want to speak to the flippant profile, because the flippant profile is the fifth core area that I see that today's leaders in coaching and consulting understand this problem and step up in their industry or their niched market of coaching, consulting, and training. And they're able to step up in a very real way, overcoming or leveraging what the flippant profile says. So let's first of all, what is the flippant profile? Well, the flippant profile is to DISC or Myers-Briggs and others what a hacksaw is to a fine surgical eye laser. Okay, this is a very, very, very specific system of profiling who can be successful in coaching. The flippant profile has 30 plus scales, allowing for a level of sophistication in measuring, tracking psychological attributes that no other instrument can come close to tracking. And that's why I love the flippant profile. And there are 8 traits out of those 30 that will determine your success as a coach or trainer. 8. And when we are featuring the content of the world's top mentors in Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, like Kel Jensen, right below me or right next to me here, who is our featured cover story in the October issue of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, they are held as a leader. And these are some of the attributes that we're looking at for our mentors of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine. So what is involved with the flippant profile and the 8 key learning traits? So let's go through these right now. The flippant profile focuses on 8 success traits that your success hinges on. All right. First of all is high achievement drive. The drive to achieve and accomplish great things. Okay, now I really want you to make sure that you are writing these down. Okay, because these are the 8 core competencies from a mindset execution standpoint. So the A domain and the K domain and the S domain that we talked about. So each of these 8 attributes overlap and penetrate each of the 3 learning domains that are involved in accelerated teaching and learning: attitudes, skills, and knowledge. Okay, so let's go through all of these 8 then. You probably want to know these, right? High achievement drive, the drive to achieve and accomplish great things. You've got to have that. Okay, and today's coaching leaders have this. Secondly, high dominance, the need to lead, influence the outcome, and make decisions. All right, you absolutely, if you want to be the coaching leader in your industry or training leader in your industry, you've got to know, you've got to want to lead, and you've got to want to be able to influence the outcome, and you've got to be able to make high level decisions, high dominance level decisions. Next, you've got to be highly competitive, and this is crucial. And this is where I see one of the biggest shortcomings today in most coaches, consultants, and trainers is that they have the drive to win and excel, but they don't know how to do it in a competitive environment. So I want to highlight this. I believe this is the #1 determining factor of success out of the 8. And I haven't ordered these. I've just pulled out the top 8 based on my research, based on how we vet mentors for Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine. We've got a very specific set of criteria, but the ability to be able to compete is crucial. And remember, if you followed us on a previous Google Hangout just a couple weeks ago, where I pointed out the 7 major mistakes that coaches, consultants, and trainers are making today, pointed out that one of those mistakes, it ties right into the flippant profile in the top 8 criteria if you're profiling the most successful coaches in today's marketplace. And that is that it's not enough to compete anymore. So you've got to understand this. It's not enough to compete anymore. You've got to be able to compete in a highly competitive marketplace. All right. So you've got to be able to compete You want to be able to compete and desire to compete, but you got to be able to compete at the highest levels. And how do you compete in the highest levels? Well, you've got to be ready to step up in a competitive marketplace. All right. So that is so crucial. I wanted to just make sure that that we just reinforce that. Next, today's leaders in coaching, according to the Flip and Profile, have a low self-critical threshold. That is the tendency to resist beating yourself up, blaming yourself, or finding fault with yourself. Okay, so many people, end up beating up on themselves. When things get tough, or as their company's growing, they hit a ceiling, and usually the ceiling is because they don't have these 8 critical criteria or success traits, according to the Flip and Profile. Next, 5th is low willingness to defer, or the tendency to resist the opinions and preferences of others in favor of your own. Okay, so at some point, like I said, you've got to be at the cutting edge of what's going on in your market. When you know what's going on, you've got to, I don't care what other people say, you've got to just go forward with what you know. Finally, our second, the penultimate success principle or trait for today's successful coaches, consultants, and trainers, and the kind of mentor that you'll see in Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, they have a high self-confidence, the ability to think very highly of your own capabilities, decisions, and views. Finally, critical thinking. So the 8th critical success trait is critical thinking, the tendency to critique performance and behavior. You've got to have that. Oh, and you know what? Sorry, I got our numbering down here. The 8th component. So this was the 7th, actually. This was the penultimate. Critical thinking, the tendency to critique performance and behavior. You've got to be able to do that. Hence, if I just come back here just for a second, the reason why I've been stressing on our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts that always start with marketing feedback data first, not product data. So many struggling coaches, consultants, and trainers are starting with product data and not starting with marketing feedback data. So the last key attribute today, the 8th success trait out of the 30 that's critical to success as a coach is being just playful or energetic, the drive to have lots of fun. I love to have fun. And I know that in our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts, I'm pretty serious. And it's because clients invest a lot of money in our programs. And I'm very serious about success. And I'm very serious about your success. It's one of the reasons why we have Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, and why it's one of the divisions within our company, one of the fastest growing divisions within our company, and why we've been able to provide you these Google Hangouts at no cost. We don't charge for this in a membership kind of format at all. I just want to bring you the most cutting edge content. So today we covered the 5 critical areas that today's leaders and coaching leaders, consulting leaders, training leaders focus on. And these are the 5 areas that I see from the editor-in-chief of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, and the inside scoop of what I see going on in the coaching, consulting, and training industry. That if you want to be a coach leader, a training leader, a consulting leader, you've got to focus on these 5 core areas within your own business. And finally, I said that if you are interested in having your content featured in Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, there is a couple ways that we can go about this. You can call our international office, and we can set you up for a very specific process, 519-542-3043. You can phone our international office, and we can send you a link to get the process started, to connect you and me together to speak. Secondly, as we always allow one person off of our one entrepreneur or startup to come to the Canadian Lake Home, we award a ticket and save a ticket for our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts. And we do this all the time. And for October 20th intensive, if you'd like to come in and join some unbelievable high-end, high-level coaches, consultants, and trainers that are literally coming in from all over the world, newgurumodel.com/one-day. newgurumodel.com/one-day. That's ONEDAY. And you can find out more there. You can reach out to my company directly if you want to get into it. That'll allow you to expedite yourself in front of the queue. We have a queue of several thousand people that have asked to be notified early when we do have availabilities. And my time is just becoming less and less available. So this is a really good opportunity for you to come in, should you be selected and vetted against some specific criteria that we have, i.e. 5 criteria. It gives you and I a chance to connect directly. Secondly, you can meet other mentors of the magazine. Thirdly, you can be involved with top flight entrepreneurs and what they're doing, who are coming in to the Canadian Lake Home. And most importantly, you can benefit from just over $3 million of advice that I provide on those days on how to grow and start and grow a company in the fastest way possible. So I showcase and share our systems to assist you to close deals. And that's why we are in business. It's interesting how my business has grown. You know, as the editor-in-chief of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, my backstory is the fact that I am a teacher. That I've always been about accelerated teaching and learning. It's one of my core competencies and what I focused on when I was a teacher and educator. And we've brought that to the business world. And I started 12 years ago helping corporations put their curriculum together and then helping them close high-end deals. And how do you put high-end programs together where you're not just hyping something, which most coaches and trainers are doing today, but how do you put really high-end programs together today that allow you to deliver the ROI that you desperately want to deliver, magnify your value, and give you a company that you're proud of and that your clients are proud of and that your clients want to promote your services. And that's how we've built my own company. And I get to a chance to leverage my clients, as you've probably seen. And my goal is to help you not only command maximum fees and royalties, so you can become a mentor of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine. We can feature your content, but also to create some very nice royalty income for your business, so you have a true ROIT business, return on invested time business. So you have what is our main mission statement of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, and that's to create a lifestyle business. So please take the content that we covered today. Please take the 5 core areas that I see today's leaders in coaching and consulting and training focusing on. Please consider these and look at this from a view of execution within your own business. Once again, if I can be a further assistance to you, please don't hesitate to phone our international office at 519-542-3043, 519-542-3043. That's our Awakened International office. It's the same number that all of our clients phone. So it is our actual office. And again, if you would like more details about coming in to the Canadian Lake Home, just go to newgurumodel.com/one-day, and you can get details about reaching out to us. And who knows, maybe our paths will cross in a couple of weeks at the Canadian Lake Home. Please, again, take these concepts, make them yours. I look forward to our next Business Breakthrough Google Hangout.